Hi, everybody. Cool, cool. All right. All right.
Right. Is it not alcoholic?
The Mela? Yeah, the Mela is non-alcoholic. All right, everyone. Thank you. Thank you for staying a little bit longer. I know rain and everything makes traffic always fucky, and we still have some people who are using that as an excuse. So when they come in, we're gonna make fun of them, but like make them empowered when they show up. I know who comes in, so I'm just gonna be like, everybody, welcome to the stage, blah, 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 and we're like, ah! And they're gonna be like, fucking late, and then we're just gonna throw them right in here. But before we start, some people know each other, some people don't. So I always like to do this because it helps with intention. It also helps me figure out all of you, and you're here. So we like to go around. And have everybody else introduce themselves. Just a real quick minute as to who you are, where you're from. Tell us where you're from, because not everybody's from Austin or born in Austin. I've been here a while, but I'm not from Austin. And then also maybe how you know me, but also maybe just real quick. Don't tell me what you do. This ain't a networking event, but what you like to work on. What are your dreams, right? Because at the end of the day, this started as a dream, and it's evolved into something that I hope is going to be bigger than that. And y'all are here for it, so I'm honored that you're here. I wasn't expecting a lot of people, so the people that did come, I'm grateful, and hopefully, me feeding you and giving you a little bit of beverages to imbibe and all that, it's meaningful. That's my thank you. But hopefully there's some cool connections come out of here, and this won't be the first time you hear me talk about this dream. You'll be a part of it. Cool. So let's start. Let's start with you, Marissa, on that. I know we'll work our way kind of counterclockwise.
My name is Marissa. Where I'm from is originally Dallas, but I've been here since 2013. And I've been on my team, I guess, like 8, 9 years. I can't do math, it's something like that. Yeah, we both are going to start venture community, and I guess I'm very passionate about just doing cool shit.
Fuck yeah.
That's
it.
Tony, I've been in Austin for 4 years now. Mexico City, before Mexico City, full USA tour. And my passion, my dream is to build a really cool, fun community here in Austin.
I love it. Biggie?
My name is Biggie. I'm from Katy. I was born in Houston. I went to school in Dallas, but I started another grad degree here, which I'm finishing up tomorrow.
Congratulations, by the way. He's graduating tomorrow. Graduating tomorrow.
I do a couple of things, but I do AI hackathons. I like technology. I like people. I like bringing people together. I think this dream for me recently was to bring people of different cultures together to music, food, and cool shit. Support small businesses in Austin, and really just have a fun, good time, and do cool shit. So.
Oh yeah, I love it. Thank you. We're gonna go to the back for the ladies back there. So Sarah, you're up. We're going up. I'm not making one too. I'm gonna make one too because I need another one too. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna curl right back down.
Sarah, I like to vibe.
Sarah likes to vibe. Yeah.
I'm originally from Wisconsin.
Oh, Wisconsin.
But I've lived all over the U.S., so I travel a lot.
Dreams.
Oh, dreams. Okay. Honestly, kind of the same thing. I love community. My dream is to just walk into spaces and have everybody just be excited and happy to be there and just vibe and have fun.
I love it. Oh,
yeah.
Awesome.
What I enjoy the most is just collaborative spaces.
Awesome. Thank you, Sarah.
all right, well, I was attempting to avoid
Hey, everybody participates. Everybody participates.
I'm Christina. Nice to meet you all. I'm actually new to Austin. About 4 months ago.
Yeah, welcome.
So
This is a cult.
yeah.
Sanctuary.
I'll jump all over the place.
She's all over the place.
A dream is to start a cult.
There's a dream. But not really.
What I mean by that is I'm also passionate about community. And yeah, just creating nothing to echo everyone else. But safe spaces. And I think a lot of people are missing a sense of psychological safety and connection. And they don't know who they are and how to connect to other people.
Mm.
So right now it's super nebulous for my future path and what that's going to look like because I'm in creative transition, but I'm excited.
Awesome. Thanks, Stu. All right, we're rolling back around. You, Tim.
Tim, born and raised in New York, but I feel like I've lived in every major city in the U.S. at this point. Maybe Pratt, maybe then. I'm actually recent to the arrival of our team's presence. Haven't known him for too long, but just clicked with a person when you know it, especially in Austin, with a lot of people. I'm into sound engineering and running different events all over Texas. And sometimes you hear what I do and you know it, and you want to see what it's all about. And that's kind of my passion, is uplifting my friends and family to aspirations and dreams and watching it grow. And if I can be a part of it, it's lucrative, but 10 times better. So that's why I'm here hanging out with you good people.
Thank you, brother. Let's snake over to Cody, and then we're gonna swing right back to me.
Cody, been in Austin over 6 years now. I was in New York before that.
Oh, cool.
Know Martine through Highbrow. We went to Texas Eclipse Festival together last year. Burning Man. I think a big dream of mine is music is a huge creative outlet for me. And I'm looking to really lean in and create experiences that harmonically bring music and wellness together to inspire joy, growth, and hopefully transformation in people.
I love that. I love that. Sonia?
Hey y'all, I'm Sonia. Nice to meet you, ones I don't know. I was born in Austin, but moved to Michigan, so fellow Midwesterner. And yeah, I was raised there, and then moved back to Austin 12 years ago. So it's my home. I love it. Feels like home, even though I've been away for a while. And I really am passionate about pouring into our community and building it into a safe and welcoming space, especially for women. As a woman, I feel like I can walk into a place and immediately know, like, how safe it is, and if I'm going to feel taken care of and supported, and there's like good to do that. And I'm very passionate about music as well, and the arts, and I would love to help create space, or maybe have my own space where I can really pour into that a lot. And specifically, I've been wanting to. I mean, of course, as an adult, we all like to go out and have fun, but our future is our children. And I have a 12-year-old son. He just turned 12 yesterday, actually.
Oh, happy belated
Yeah,
birthday.
it was great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I really want to support the children of Boston, too, because they are our future, and they are going to know so much more than we're ever going to know. Do so many things that we can never even plan. And I feel like it's our duty to help them. I mean, me as a mom, of course, my duty to support my son, but as good stewards of our city and of our world, I feel like it's important to like really support children. And I think that creativity. Sorry, I know I'm going on.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
I think creativity is really going to be what makes us stand out as humans as we go into this new frontier with AI and everything. Human creativity is what makes us special in a lot of ways. And the more we can help children develop their own creativity and appreciate it, I feel like we'll just all be better off.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Last but not least.
Yes.
I grew up a farm in Nebraska. So
Oh, right on. Yeah, we got something. Love it.
I spent the last 30 years in Silicon Valley. Then I moved to Austin in January to
Yeah.
And I've been involved with Ferdinand community and see how creative people grow and create things from nothing to see this creative people. So I'm a team to Sonia and just the community. My dream is to continue to the community and to see the same kind of growth of people outside of West
I love that. I love that. Thank you. Thank you all for sharing. Again, I make everyone participate. I do this all the time. But it helps because now there's some grounding and it tells me something. It tells me something about the people in the room. And the underlying thing around all of you is you want to build or support and contribute to community, right? So for me, okay, going that way. So yeah, just real quick, this is how we're gonna. Right, I'll tell you a little bit about me now. You already share. I'll tell you a little bit about me. Just some people know a lot. Some people don't know anything at all. Some people just maybe know bits and pieces. So I'm gonna hopefully give a real quick connective thing on me, and that might make a little more sense as to why all of you are here. Why maybe my gravity brought y'all all here, and hopefully y'all's own gravity will start building orbits around each other. And whoever comes in as well, we'll pull them in or make them. But we're just welcoming them. And I'm gonna put them right on the spot too. So they don't even have a chance to get warmed up. It's just like, all right, you're going. Okay. And then I'm also gonna tell you about the last 4 years of what Sanctuary started as, which really came down to my Startup Accelerator Founder Institute, which Marissa's jumping on. She's been familiar with it, but she's going to be coming on and supporting us in our Austin community, which I'm really excited about and I'm honored for. Some of y'all know about FI, some of y'all don't. So it's not an FI show, but you can look it up. I've been doing it for a long time. And then I'm going to show you what this dream's all about, what I've been dreaming about since South by has been done. And what's next? If you're inspired by this, you want to be a part of this, contribute, I would love that. This is kind of the ground floor of what I hope to be the next community I get to help create. But at the end of the day, community's community driven by design. So by no means is this the Martine show. Tonight kind of is. But at the end of the day, the Sanctuary as a brand is collective. It's participatory. It takes a lot from the Burning Man community, lessons I've learned through that community, but also lessons that I've learned building another one that's very focused to the founder experience or the entrepreneurial experience. And I believe anybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can be a founder. But we're not going to talk about that today in that respect. But at the end of the day, everyone that contributes has entrepreneurial blood in them, because I believe all of you are entrepreneurs, whether you think so or not. The characteristics are there. And that's the foundation of what Sanctuary started as, will continue as, but it's going to be even more than that. So thank you. It is 3 till 2:30 till 8:30. I'm going to try and get this done as quickly as possible. So that afterwards, I know, again, I want to respect for y'all's time. I know I said it was 6 to 8, but late party people, rain, whatever. I'll get through this. And then, again, if y'all need to head out, I respect that, and I appreciate you for giving me just a little bit of time. But those that want to stick around, we're gonna do the immersive bubble experience. So I'm gonna turn down all the lights. I'm gonna really crank this up. Y'all vibe out hard and but also there. So for those people that need breaks out of the bubble, you can go hang outside. The shift pod's up and running. You can vibe out there hard. My iPad's going with music. You play music or whatever, just so you can kick it. You can take breaks in and out. Does that sound cool? Is that cool? Y'all cool with that? All right, yeah, cool. All right, sweet. All right, let me begin. So, again, this is me. I was born in Texas, grew up in San Antonio. I've been here 20 years. My family's gone here a long time. Entrepreneurialism has been in the blood for a long time. We're a family of event producers too, but professionally, I've been doing it for over 2 decades. I was thinking about it actually yesterday, building the shift pod. This bug's been in me since I was a baby. I've been a lucid dreamer since I was a baby too. So dreams are something that's really important to me. They connect me with something deeper, whether I knew it back then. I certainly know it now. And that's why I ask all of you, what are your dreams? Because I believe there's something that connects all of us through that subconscious, that ether. This I still don't understand. I don't think any of us ever will. But there's something there. And you can make it real. It's not just platitudes. I've done a lot of startups. I started my career building a dream that I wasn't even realizing back in college. It got me to Facebook. It got me to Google. I learned really a lot back then about how to be an entrepreneur and what it meant to build something crazy big. But I just wasn't ready for it, I think. Made too much money for a kid. And I blew it all starting companies afterwards. But mostly when I start companies, it's out of heartbreak, because I'm a hopeless romantic. But we're not talking about that either. But that's been a big driver of me on how I've perceived my entrepreneurial career. This isn't starting from heartbreak. The origins of the journey to this point is through a lot of heartbreak. But this isn't, and that's what's given me so much excitement. I haven't felt this way in a long time. But at the end of the day, the entrepreneurial journey is lonely, and I've been privileged to really hone my public speaking skills to talk about that journey, but also remind the entrepreneur that you're not alone. because it's a lonely, isolating experience, and everyone that loves you is going to call you crazy. And that's just not the encouragement you need or deserve. It's not encouragement at all. It's quit. Don't do it. Good luck, kid. And so I'm a big mental health advocate. I sit on the board for a nonprofit here that focuses on mental health service for the nightlife industry. It's Mental Health Awareness Month too, so there's just a really cool tie in there. We're actually starting a mural with partnership with our friends at the Hi How Are You project. I was telling you, Viggy, just last Friday. So we're going to start that this week, and we're actually doing like a full moon yoga thing over at the Thompson Hotel on Monday for the nightlife industry. So again, think the bartender, the doorman, the stripper, the dancer at the club, everybody that's in the hospitality, nightlife, performative industry. You just don't get those services. So a lot of those services are geared towards the musicians. Ham, there's a bunch. But there's really not ones for all those people that are behind the scenes that everyone ignores until you need a new drink, or you spill some shit on the floor, or it's like no one's giving me attention. Who's going to give me a lap dance? Right? It's fucked up. So that really has always been tied, and that's the people that help you put on events, right? And then a lot of you have probably seen my work with Founder Institute. I've been doing that almost 10 years now. I've been trying to teach people what not to do, and that's been a hard, lonely journey building it. I'm grateful for people like Marissa who want to help add on to that, because I'm moving beyond the operational stuff now. I've been doing it over 8 years, and I just can't run it by myself anymore. That's never been the goal. So it leads me today. I just finished this conference, Founder X, which was the culmination of all that work. It really drove me to the limits of my abilities, and then we had the 4th annual Sunday Sanctuary, which some of you have been to. How many of y'all actually have done a Sanctuary? I know a couple of y'all have. You were at 23 Afros. You were at Sanctuary. You're a Sanctuary. So that's why we're here. I spent so much time dreaming the last 6 weeks, and it's come to a head. And now it's ready for me to explain it something that's meaningful. And y'all are here to hear it. So thank you. But before we do that, I do want to show you a photo right after my first South by Southwest. I was 20 years old, and this is me. 20. This is me. Yeah, I think I just turned 21 because I wasn't allowed to make drinks when I first started. It was 2007. They had hired me on the spot because I was the only moron that answered the ad a week before South by Southwest that year, and I had no idea what South by Southwest was. But you can see my shit-eating grin. I think I'm literally a week on, like, oh, I'm 21 now. They can let me make drinks. But this bar does not exist anymore. It's now like a corner store. It's like not even a corner store. It's like a hallway store in between Touche and whatever's Toulouse is. But I learned a lot. That experience. Learned a lot about crowds. Learned a lot about how people move. And it was also my first South by experience. And I'm doing this for a reason, because you start somewhere. And it shows a little bit about why I care so much about the hospitality and nightlife industry. But also, as I've spent the years through South by Southwest, I've built my career around that. And it's changing. It's changing. I'll talk about that a little later, but y'all probably saw the news. I was very vocal. I had to make a statement myself because people that are running South by I look up to, and they've supported me. But it's changing. But everybody has to start somewhere. And this little kid, whether he knew it or not, I'm proud of him. So fast forward to 2022, and I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was going to come back. Nobody was. In 2020, March 6th, that Friday afternoon, I was working on a big deal. All of us were working on the biggest deals we'd ever had. And it came to a head, and it all went to nothing. And 5 days later, the world changed. But South by Southwest cancellation that afternoon, and it was the city. I called it the day before. I was talking with a friend, and she's like, do you think South by is going to cancel? I'm like, they're not going to cancel. The city's going to have to shut them down. Because, we saw this COVID-19 thing. Blah, blah, blah. We all know. We try to forget, but we all know. And the next day it happened. A week later, the world changes. Come on in, James. Everybody, James Quigley. Give him up. Right on, everybody. Come on. Woo! All right, you're coming on in. You're getting a gross head. So you're going to have to do this like everybody else did. And you're going to have to do it on the spot because you're walking in late. So shoes, squats, push-ups, wall sits. While you do wall sits, actually, I just want you to introduce yourself. Tell us where you're from, what brought you here, how you know me. And then maybe, thank you. And then maybe, and then just maybe some of your dreams right now. Not necessarily what you're working on. It's not necessarily a networking thing, but we all shared a little bit about who we are, where we're from, kind of how you're connected to me, and then what is your aspiration? What are your dreams?
Good to see everybody. There's some faces here. It's awesome. James Quigley, originally from Brooklyn, New York. Kind of lived all over New York City. Moved here about 8 years ago. Kind of lived all over in the Middle East right before here. Quick little stop. And the question is, what are my dreams?
Yeah. What's driving you? What's in your dream?
What's driving me? Faith, and my family.
I love that, man. Well, again, we're putting you on the spot. Feel free to grab some food if you want. There's beverages in the cooler. But otherwise, come into the bubble. Come into the bubble and come hang out, all right? I'm just starting, okay? Right. So, again, South by Southwest was really the catalyst that changed everything that happened in this country. People forget that. But that was the first major event that shut down. 3 days later, then remember, what's his name? Louis Gober was like touching all the microphones in the NBA because everyone was like, blah, blah, blah. And they shut down the NBA the next day. But they had shut down the NCAA the day before. They'd done the NHL before that. Then they shut down the NBA. Finally, on that Thursday, 6 days later, the president finally gets on and shuts down the airports. For me, I just started drinking. I lost everything. We all lost everything. We're all shouting at each other. And I think in May, I was swimming out of a sea of Jameson bottles. And I just said, fuck it, I guess we have to figure out how to do this online. So by 2022, again, I just didn't want to do online events. Actually, my leader in Houston, we started our second founder institute in Texas back in 2019. His name's James Phelan. So just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to refer to you as Quigley. I don't remember James Phelan as Phelan, okay? And Phelan is right here. This is James Phelan right here. He was like, Martin, let's do an event. And I'm like, I don't know if anyone's going to come. I don't know, man. I don't want to waste it. I don't waste time. I don't have really, we have some money, but like, I don't know. Is anybody going to come? I don't know. Me, of all people, I love events. I didn't think so. James said, no, fuck it, dude. Let's do it. I have a sponsor. I'm like, really? All right, fine. So we went, if y'all remember this is the W lobby, the old W. And we put the thing together. He's like, when should we do it? I'm like, Sunday's usually pretty chill. Day 3 is usually pretty chill. A lot of people that are coming into town are about to head out. Let's just do something midday, right? But I want it to be a respite. I don't want to do like a buyout, I don't know, shit and all, or, big bar tab anywhere. Let's call my buddy Nick, Nick Sanchez. He's now like GM at Palazzo, but back then he was the food and beverage guy over the W. And I've done events with my last company, A Player Media there. So I was just like, Nick, mind if I stop in? Literally on day 2 South by. Run in there. Nick's like, cool, yeah. All right, sweet, let's go. 2-hour happy hour. We just threw some credit cards down. And yeah, like 80 people showed up. And I was surprised. I was blown away, actually. I was like, wow, okay, maybe we can do this again. But I called it the Sanctuary. It was the FI Texas Sunday Sanctuary. And that was the origins of it, right? But it was for the entrepreneur. It was for the founder. And it was just for that little community that I thought we had lost. So you motivate me a little bit. I'm going to keep going. So in 2023, I had discovered that, honestly, just that weekend, I had discovered this new place called Highbrow Lowbrow. I wasn't a member yet, but I had discovered it that first weekend. And through gravity, it led me to James. And so in 2023, I got to take it to Highbrow Lowbrow. And I think this was the very first day event that had ever happened at Highbrow Lowbrow. Because, what? The sun's up? And there's a few of us that are Highbrow Lowbrow.
I think we had just picked Tony out.
Tony had just left at 9, 10 a.m. I'm showing up for loaded at 10. The event didn't start till 2 still. We ran from 2 to 3. So it was a 2-hour event, added another hour. But I kept thinking about that recharge, and I thought about me as an event producer. Again, you're drained. I had actually had whisperings of Sunday Sanctuary on the final day of South by in 2019. I was running all of the events at Native Hostel that year, and that I thought was the year that broke me, and it was a high watermark. But on the final day, I got to do something of my own design, and we had to contribute. It ended up with a hip-hop festival, but it started as a day festival. We called it the Block Party. But I brought out a recharge lounge and a CBD brunch. So it was kind of like food for the mind, the soul, but also get your shit back together. But we moved it up a week. And this is for, again, the founders, people that come for weekend one usually take off Sunday evening, first thing Monday. So let's make it not look like you've been partying for 4 days straight. So we took it to Highbrow Lowbrow. I actually got some sponsors. You can see HubSpot. They did food for us. And it was a beautiful day, James. You remember. It was a beautiful day. Couldn't ask for a better day. God was on my side, on all our sides that
I
afternoon.
should have gave you a better price.
Should have gave me a better price. But I made no money on it. I gave him a lot of money that year.
Well, not me.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah. But either way, so again, regardless, I was still learning. I was still building. I was still figuring out, is this something that carries? So Sunday Sanctuary Annual 2 brought it back, and I called it the Revival, right? But yeah, and then we added my friends at iVitamin. I actually brought iVitamin in 2019 to that block party thing, and it was a hit. Everybody loved the IV drips. I drank 2 bags because I was dehydrated out of my mind after 10 straight days of running everything that year at Native. But it was beautiful. 250 people show up, going from 80, 250. I was like, wow, okay, this is something. I think I'm going to try it again next year. So we went big in 2024. And now there was a lot of momentum. And I had a lot of buy-in with sponsors. And I really had, that was the only thing I could focus on. I wanted to focus on. So we went big. In 2024, we took it over to the Pershing, right? You were at it, right? So you were the Pershing, right? And so we really took it up. Most money I had raised up at that point, but I lost a lot more too because we went really big. And we started some stuff that I've already always done. We've always done. I'm really good, or it's like they tell me, and I like to think so. You know, I'm really good at curating panels, really good at moderating, but I could not just moderate or MC. So I started to tap a founder of mine, Olivia. She helped me build out the programming, the panels, the talks. I was going to say some words because, you know, I enjoy that, but I couldn't run it all. So I offloaded that to somebody. You know, Pershing was amenable in terms of getting us, you know, great AV, but I also love doing vendor markets. I've iterated with vendor markets very often over my career with events. So boom, let's do a wellness vendor market. And we blew that up too. You know, we've had the Battle Act there since the year before, and we brought it back out again. We brought it back out again this year. So the Burning Man layer really started to come in. But one thing that blew me away was the new community that started to show up from the wellness community, from this community that Olivia, my programming lead, brought in because she's in the psychedelic space. So it brought in some of the conscious community. It brought people in from the wellness community. It brought in celebrities that I didn't even know. I don't know who the fuck Rick Doblin is. And everyone's like, oh, I'm here for Rick. I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I'm like, Rick, what's up, dude? And everyone's just like, oh my God. I'm like, this guy right here? Yeah. And so like, yeah, Matt Riggs. And everyone was freaking out. 1,200 people show up. 1,200 people. 80, 250, 1,200. Holy shit. You know, like, this was a beautiful day, but that was the only thing I had to focus on that day. And I'm like, all right, how the fuck we do this again? So we started to see some patterns. Went to a little exclusivity place at the W. W's always had a little posh exclusivity. But then we really took it to a members club in 2023. We took it to another members club last year. And unfortunately, I wish I could have taken it back to Highbrow Lowbrow again, which we were planning, but, you know, things change. It is what it is. And we'll talk about it later. Or we want it all. But so I was talking to Olivia again this year. It was like, we're bringing this back. We already said it. And what do you want to do? She's like, I'm building my own thing too. You gave me motivation and a dream to build my own thing. I'm like, fuck yeah. That was it. You know, like what I didn't realize until much later is that this was a vehicle for her to actually connect with Rick and her whole community that didn't give her any time or recognition. And now she's on the map, pun intended with maps. But like Rick had never would answer an email, but with this opportunity, this momentum, this thing we were creating that, you know, I was a big instrumental part in pushing it forward. It brought opportunity for others. And it motivated and pushed them to want to do their own thing. And that's also when I got to meet a couple other people. So Kim Roach, now Kimberly Kennedy, just got married recently. You know, she was leading the breath work and the sound work. So again, all this other wellness stuff. It wasn't just the IV drips. We still had the IV drips and the B12 shots. But we had like wellness, like elixirs and juice bars and the breath work and the meditation, all of this other stuff. Now for me, it wasn't just about the sound body and the mind. Again, mental health has always been an important thing for me, you know, maintaining that. Something was there. It showed. We made the papers. Everyone was talking about it. It was one of those events of day 3 that everyone was there for. Line wrapped around the block for hours. And we extended to 4, right, to accommodate for that. So what the fuck am I going to do next, right? I didn't get to put as much love as I wanted to this year because I was building Founder X. And that was the culmination of 8 years worth of work. So I didn't get to spend as much time as I wanted to. But we still did it. It was, you know, I figured out the model a little bit more. We got respectfully got a better deal on the venue this year than the last two. The last two, which again were amazing spaces, and perfect for the time. We made it work, but got a better deal because they figured out really what this was about and what it was going to mean for them as a venue. Because when we took it to Bathe this past year, I have a video now too. So like you got to do some content. So like it's a wellness members community. And that was just starting. So this is a perfect way to show off what they're doing. We kept with the speaking programming. We kept with the vendor market. But now we're in a space that is focused to the wellness aspect. That's focused to the community that we started to really open up to in 2024. And it was fucking beautiful. It was beautiful. It was serene. We didn't need 1,200 people. We had 600. But it was even more intentional. It wasn't just people showing up to be like, oh, I'm just there to take the selfie and I'm out, right? These are people that were going to spend the whole day there. And they did. 5 hours with us. We added another layer. In 2024, we just had one DJ going in the back, and it was just kind of chaotic. This year, we actually put it outside and contained it in a way that made sense. And Cody was one of those people spinning with us. And so we didn't just have somebody running the wellness and indoor program, and we had a team that was running our sound program outside too. So another layer really got to be added. And when I finally got to sleep that night, I started dreaming. I mean, I had another week of South by to go, but my job was done. I got to just enjoy myself, and I got to see a lot of you and hang out with a lot of you, and that was great. So when it was over, I started to dream more than I ever have in almost 10 years. And it brought me to what I'm about to share with you now, which is the future. Okay? So, come on. So, just to recap again, we started very focused just for the Founder Institute community. We added up an outdoor component, took it to a member-specific community that I was privileged to be a part of, and many of you were too. Took it to another one in the year after, and got really, really big, got the recognition. People now associated this Sunday event with the Sanctuary, so there's some brand recognition. And this past year, hyper-focus, and something revealed itself to me. And I'm about to show it to you now. So welcome to what is now the genesis tonight of the Sunday Sanctuary, or the Sanctuary series, excuse me.
Woo!
Thank you. So
6 to midnight.
I know.
Took you guys a while.
I know. Might need a spray here in a second. For real.
No finish.
So let's start. I want to just start with who we are, what I believe we can be. Okay. This started for the founder. It's going to continue. The entrepreneur, I believe, can be a founder, but not every entrepreneur is a founder. But this is for the entrepreneur too. And I believe all of you are, and all of you showed me something that is entrepreneurial just with your introductions. A lot of it comes from building communities. That's very entrepreneurial. You could just be a creator. Some of you make art. Some of you are really good at making art, better than I ever will be it through sound or visual or with your hands, whatever. You're a creator, you're a maker. Or you help cultivate people and bring those people. You might be the community builder. All of you said that. All of you said that here. That was awesome. I wasn't anticipating that, but all of you said that. But at the end of the day, we're all dreamers too. So that's who we are, right? What do I value? And I believe these archetypes of people also value the same. So I want to make sure that our values are also attuned to this. Learn a little bit more about how to define that on Tuesday. We'll talk about that later. What are those values? Okay, it starts with just kindness, right? We all have our anxiety. We all have our energies that can take us into shadowy places. But when you walk into a sanctuary event or a sanctuary community, you leave that shit at the door. You let the sun shine down on you, and you radiate that sunshine on everyone else. So it starts with kindness. And you have to be open. You have to be open to new ideas. You can't just come closed with just your own methodology, your own way of thinking. These are things that we have at Founder Institute that I've always adored and try to implement in everyday life, is a sheer openness. It's just what I don't know. Sharing what you do know, but understanding I still don't know a lot about nothing, right? And so when you meet somebody in the sanctuary event or in the sanctuary community, you're open to what they have to say. Even if you might disagree with them. Even if you have completely different ideologies. You're open to what they have to say, and you're going to offer kindness to it to receive it as best as possible. Then maybe you might learn something. Or maybe not. It's okay. I'm not saying you have to. We're not force feeding this, but I think you have to have an open mind to really enjoy what we have to offer in this community. That comes with respect, right? Even when you know you're not in the wrong, or even when it's too heated and your emotions are clouding that you are in the wrong, it doesn't matter. You got to have respect, not just for the people you're dealing with, but for yourself, right? And that's important, right? Honor that. Honor each other. Honor the space. The sanctuary is sacred. It's bigger than all of us. At least that's the goal, right? But at the end of the day, I want y'all to have a lot of fucking fun, So that's what we value. That's what I believe a sanctuary can embody in terms of community. It's very pure. There's not a lot of detail to it. You can interpret it as you will. But I think with this, it can drive you and give you an understanding of how you want to not only be treated, but how you want to treat yourself. I know, very, very Christian, very Bible-y. We do have a new pope, by the way, as of today. I hear he's Catholic. Yeah. But also he's from America too. So, America, woo! But yeah, that's what about it. So what's next? So what are we gonna do, right? We understand who we are. We understand what we value. But what's next? Sunday Sanctuary is still a year away. Still 10 months away. Almost to the day, but no, about a week and to the day. But we're gonna go into what's next. And I've spoken lightly with some of you. Some of you might already start to think, and we've already had conversations how to get involved. But the Sanctuary series as a whole is going to get serialized and turn into something that will be seasonal. It'll have varying levels of components. The Sunday Sanctuary as it is will be our big tentpole event, as I call them. We call them tentpoles. It's the big one. And that'll come back in 2026. That's still a ways away. So coming up, I'm excited. We are going to start the very first one coming. Come on, Clicky. Always does this. Summer Sanctuary. Already have a date, July 26th. I'm very excited about this, and I hope if y'all are in town for it, I'm gonna use this really as a vehicle, kind of a pre-burn, as many of us are gonna be heading out to the desert in a month after, right? So Summer Sanctuary, I'm very excited about. All of you are gonna be first to know because you're here. You're here right now, hearing it first. And whoever decides to watch on my stream whenever I post it, because I'm just recording, I'm not actually streaming, because y'all don't get to do it, y'all don't show up. So what is Summer Sanctuary? It's going to be different, right? The dream here, we're still working on that. We have some ideas out. Some people are putting out some feelers for me right now, but I invite you to offer opportunities and introductions if you see fit. But we're going to take this to the water. It's the summer, right? People want to be on the water. So, and we are connected folks. We have friends. Some of them are of means, and some of them have lakeside views. They don't get to utilize all the time, and they enjoy hosting. So we're still in the search on that, but we are looking to make a decision ideally within the next week so that we can start promoting and building this brand and getting people excited. But that's the first thing. We know what it is. We know when is it. And the next logical step is obviously where is it? Because now we know who's going to come. Is this community that we're cultivating. We're gonna shift in some program. It's going to be food forward as well. I want to make it a culinary experience. Everybody loves barbecues and sit downs. We commune in the summer. We eat. We feast on everything that we get to harvest from the spring. It's fresh. It's fun. Water, food, certainly sound. The wellness program is going to be there. I totally envision people pulling up on their boats and bringing folks, or you jumping on their boat and just having a little joyride in the wake surf. So the activities of summer, the action of summer is very there. And then of course, but as we're there, the full local program will end at sunset. But for those of us that want to stay, we'll certainly have some fire. We might even have some conversations by the fire, true fireside chats, with evening spins into the night. But that's Summer Sanctuary, and I'm very excited about that. It's the first big event, and it's coming very soon. And there's going to be a lot. You're here first to know. And hopefully, if we get to accomplish in terms of what our venue search is going to be, we'll start promoting in the week ahead. Very excited about that. Next up, for the fall, a lot of us are going to the Burn. I'm planning this around the Burn as well. And that takes like a month out of you, right? It's like a 3-week road trip for me. I don't know if I'm going to do the full road trip, but we're figuring that out, right? But the next one will be the Solstice Sanctuary. Right now, we don't have a set firm date. So right now, Solstice makes sense. It could be an equinox sanctuary. But we are aiming for a fall-winter timeline, obviously. This will be after the Burn, sometime end of October or to early December. Okay. But we're not going to be on a lake house. There's no reason. People don't want to be on the water in the winter. Post season's over. But I do want to take this somewhere inclusive and immersive. So we are looking at hill country views, retreats. Everybody loves going to hill country. And in the fall, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. So, we're in talks already. I've seated a couple friends, like my buddy David Naylor. He goes by William these days. That owns the Awaken Ranch. Spaces like that. They have a lot of activities. It's also an overnight experience for those that are inclined and want to subscribe to the full experience, but you can just go for the day. But this is going to be a test and a build up to what we're getting to in 2026. Not necessarily food forward, but we're going to have the food component, obviously, because we want you there all the time. We will add more content-driven programming, right? More wellness programming, because again, we want to start feeding your mind a little bit more. And then again, we want to really think about this overnight experience so that you can really understand and trust that the community you're with, you can actually spend the night with or enjoy a sunrise with, right? You learn a lot about somebody. You get to know somebody really well when you watch a sunrise with them. Some smart people told me that once, and I agree with them. So that's what we have for the rest of the year so far, or maybe not. But as we get to 2026, the 5th annual, this is the big show. 5 years worth of work, getting up to that point. I'll have a lot of time to think about it. I don't think I'm bringing Founder X back unless I raise a ton of money for it, and I don't think that's going to happen, at least for this year. Who knows in another year? South by Southwest is changing dramatically, and I'll start there. My mentor, Hugh Forrest, who's the chief program officer and the president, he built South by Southwest, was let go just 2 weeks ago. Whole regime change, kind of by design. When I was talking about the pandemic, they had to make a deal with the devil, so to speak, and they sold 50% of the company to Penske Media. It's a big multimedia conglomerate, owns like Rolling Stone, a bunch of magazines, all this stuff. But they stipulated 50-50 in 2022. By 2022, get back to in-person. They did. And Hugh's been the visionary that's created South by Southwest that all of you know, love, and have experienced. Or maybe not. People have their opinions, and that's okay. But what happened, I didn't know, well, nobody really did, was that in 2023, they didn't hit certain numbers, which were crazy numbers, because that's what corporate does to you. It gives you crazy numbers to save your life. They'd bump up 1 point. So in 2023, they took a 51% stake in the company. And that changed the dynamics altogether. And that put Hugh on his back. And this is something that he's comfortable with me sharing because it's pretty much common knowledge now. It's in the papers. You can look it up. I'm not saying anything that he wouldn't be comfortable with me saying. But it changed the dynamics. So as of this year, those numbers still weren't hit. And they made a decision to move them out. Broke my heart, and it shocked a lot of people in the industry, and nobody knows what's next. So we're not thinking in the guise of just being at South by Southwest exclusive. So it's going to change. And it's going to be bigger. And this lackey that they have in charge right now, I don't know them. Maybe I'll meet them at some point. Maybe I never will. So we're not really caring and concerned about them. But it still will take place on that Sunday, first weekend of South by Southwest, which now is day 4. But regardless, we're going fucking big. So we are going to be introducing full 1-day program. This is going to be start to finish, y'all. Like a 10 a.m. to noon open wellness programming through the early afternoon. We are going to go full-blown panels, talks, workshops. We're going to put in a vendor market that will make fucking the one we did at Pershing look like small potatoes, like a little pop-up boy, right? We're going to do so much. We're going to aim so big. And we're going to be charging some pretty pricey tickets for that experience because we have a community that's willing to invest in it. They've invested in it for years, and I know they're going to invest in it. And we're going to roll it out with something I've always wanted to do, which I've done before, but we'll do a little hard reset. VIPs get to hang around, but all the general people go away for a couple hours, and then we reopen doors in the evenings, and we're going to do a rolling music showcase because I love music. And I've been able to do music in the past, but I've never been able to combine these. The last time I was able to combine these was in 2019 at Native. But we did like Bun B's birthday, and that was a whole different animal. Didn't really get to curate that. It was still fun. It was just very stressful. But something of our own design. Evening rolling music showcases, live music, DJs. Immersion with the art and experiences, stuff I saw during Art Basel over the years. Stuff I've seen at Burning Man. I'm very excited about it, but we're still a ways away from that. And that right now is still the dream. But I know we can get there, and I know we will. So that's the Sanctuary series. But I'm not done. I'm not done because there's so many other things in between these giant events that we're curating that are possible. Many of you all mentioned the communities you want to build. So we'll start with something smaller, and this could change. We don't have set dates right now, but I am looking. Come on, Clicky. Come on, Clicky. Come on, I think that. Supplemental events, right. So we're going to do some supplemental events to keep with the brand going, is to continue to build community and evangelize. And hopefully maybe y'all, when y'all are there, y'all can speak to other people and maybe bring them into the community as well, if you think they share our values. So we'll start with sanctuary sessions. These are going to be pretty simple, pretty straightforward, stuff that we like to go to. You know, for those of us that were at, you know, like the thing at Luna, you know, this past weekend, I saw you there, Tim, Tony, you were there, a few of us were there. These are just music forward events, spins, vibes, very, very focused, venue specific, venue driven. So we'll partner with local venues. They'll probably be free to attend. We're not really looking to make money. We're just looking to build community, have a good time. And if we hit a certain spend at the bar, sure, there's some revenue stuff. But it's not, they're not money drivers, they're community builders, right? Sanctuary sessions are fun. Inevitably, they can go into places where I would love to see something of akin to a circle experience or a boiler room experience, where we are selling tickets, but again, they're very focused, music forward, and capped in a certain venue space. Not a lot of other elements outside of the music driving the vibes, right? And sponsors ideally cover those costs versus you, the attendee. You just got to get in line and make sure you get those tickets before you can. At a very nominal inviting rate, but you'll be first on the list versus we open it up to GA. Those two, again, many of you said you want to build your own community. I'm introducing something interesting that, again, I guess my recommendation has weight, right? I've been told this. People ask me, you know, what's going on? What are some vibes? Are you helping with this event? It's your event. I'm like, it's not my event. I'm just here. I'm helping now. I might be running door, you know, but I'm just there because I want to help and I want you to fuck up, you know? And I've done that more than often for a lot of friends recently. I just don't want you to fuck up. So I'm just going to show up and just like give you an extra body and just be a good event producer and share with you shit that I know you're fucking up with. You don't realize. So we're going to do what I call sanctuary sanctioned branded events. So if you have an event and it feels like it aligns with what we're doing, but you don't want to do the full-blown Sunday Sanctuary branding, we'll partner with you. We'll brand it with you. I'll give you some guidance and advice if you think you need it or not, whatever. But I'll make sure that I show up and support you, and I'll bring as many people as I can that want to support you too. And I'll talk about you all day long. I'll rave about you. And then, yeah, I get to hang out with cool kids. Y'all cool kids. So Sanctuary Sanction, again, they align with our values. They align with our vision. And hopefully they don't conflict on the same day as the actual sanctuary event. That's what we hope. That's what we hope. We get too big, who knows? It's fun. So that's the dream. I know it's a lot, but it's doable. It's cohesive. And it's something that I've been thinking about, whether I realize it or not, for well over a decade. It's just now in a position where I can explain it as well as I just have. So I'm grateful for y'all listening. And yeah, okay, yeah. With the James interruption. Okay, that was a little, like 20 minutes. So how can you help? How can you help? And again, I'm almost done. I might have something else for you. But, you know, we are looking for people to help support programming. Whatever you think you want to contribute, I'm open to it. I want to hear it. You know, I'm not going to be able to do this by myself. We're going to have specific leads and programming leads for everything that we do that want to do spoken word or wellness or vendors or sponsors or music. Right? Cody's already offered to support us on the music and sound side, and I'm grateful for you. Thank you. You know, we know Austin and Paul. Unfortunately, I guess they're not gonna be able to make it tonight, but they were really helpful. Also, Austin specifically on sound and music curation, but Paula on programming, building out. They did an amazing job with Bicycle Day just a few weeks ago. Again, that technically I would have said was a sanctuary sanctioned event. I just had to show up and be pretty and talk on the microphone. I love doing that, so it's great. I didn't have to do anything, but, you know, when Austin needed some advice on how does this look, I'm like, yeah, let's tighten up around a show. Or let's do this. Oh, maybe you should consider that. Ooh, don't fuck up there. Fix that. You know, I'm not having to do the whole thing. You know, we're empowering you. My skills as a producer over the years, I want you to win. I want all of us to win. It's part of it. So, yeah, I'm excited about that. If you want to be a bar program in any way, shape, or form, please do that. Always, I'm looking for great venues. I'm only one person. So if you see something cool, take videos of it, send it to me, send it to us, right? Show us. This would be great vibes for a sanctuary. Right now, again, Lake House, right? I know we have a lot of friends. There's a couple options out there, but that's the big one, right? Summer Sanctuary ain't going to happen until we lock in a venue, and that needs to happen quick. So we're going to be moving really fast on it. Sponsors, obviously. If you have a good beverage brand or technology brand or something that's aligned with us, that was like, oh, we have budget for this stuff. This seems stand up. How much can we contribute outside of just giving product? Our friends at Breeze are looking at doing that with us, investing that time, right? Those are the things we need right now. If you have other ideas, I'm open. I'm open to that. But those are the immediates, okay? That's my ask right now. Lastly, I do have one more thing. I do have one more thing. And then we're going to get bubbles. We're going to vote. We have one more thing. I have one more thing. I have one more thing. So I made a post like 10 days ago because I love the desert. I think a lot of us love the desert, but I like one that's close. I love Marfa. It's been a part of my life for almost a decade now too, and I've got to really know and cultivate a lot of relationships over there. But I did a post just like, hey, the desert's calling me, anyone want to come to Marfa? And I saw a handful of people were going to say yeah on my survey. 24 people said like, fuck yeah, let's go. And I'm like, no shit. Okay. So we're going to do a desert sanctuary. This is going to be different, obviously, because it's a caravan. So what we're going to do a caravan. Anybody that's here can come, but I literally have a list of 24 people that are down for this. End of June. We're going to start this first.
What's the date?
So again, we're going to figure that out yet, Viggy. We're figuring that out still. I got to serve. So I'm surveying. And right now, for anybody that's in, so I'm going to start surveying immediately on potential dates. Right now, end of June, that final weekend of June would be good because then it's a tee up into that. Could be mid-June, but it's going to happen quick, and that's going to be the first one. It's also going to be a good, fun experience for all of us. A little excursion out. Caravan out to Marfa. I have a good core group of friends. We're already talking about group Airbnbs, group rates of the Hotel Paisano, potentially some event takeovers at Planet Marfa, which is like the big locals bar where they do the music and all that stuff. And then to cap it off, of course, people can go out and do the art tours, and you can do your hot girl stuff and go to the Prada store and take all these sexy photos. But again, everybody, you have to do that. You're going to Marfa, go to the Prada store and show some cheek, But we'll close it off because I did this on my birthday. I did that. I'm almost done. Did this on my birthday. But I was invited out to a desert rave, straight up in the middle of the desert. There was an Airstream tricked out with lights. We can do that too. And so I'm envisioning a pop-up rave in the desert, and y'all gonna get to know some Marfa people, but they're certainly gonna get to know y'all. And for those of y'all that love Marfa, have been there a couple times, it's a chance to reconnect. For those of you who have yet to be, it might be a place you'll fall in love with and want to keep going back. And for those people that are in Marfa who are like, some of these Austin people suck, they're like, but he's bringing a crew. Oh shit, they're cool. So that's bonus content. And yeah, again, the food's fun. There is a beautiful park called Balmorea State Park as well. It's the deepest, widest man-made swimming hole in the world. It makes Barton Springs look like a kiddie pool. Straight up. It's beautiful. So I envision a morning or an afternoon where we get to go out and experience that as well. So if you want to come, I'm trying to survey dates, but we'd leave on a Thursday. It takes about 7 hours to get out there, 7 hours to get back. So we'd have a solid 3 days to really enjoy ourselves all across West Texas. That's what I got. So thank you all. Thank you all.
Yes.
We don't have to do questions if you want to ask me questions directly, but typically sometimes I'll allow for some questions. So if there's anything weird, confusing, and maybe you have an idea right now or something you want to share, you're more than welcome to. If not, Viggy.
Question.
What's up, Viggy?
It's more like a comment. I have like a couple of brands that I was thinking about
Tell me.
partnering with. One is like I miss TCL. She has a non-alcoholic seltzer.
Awesome.
Austin Brandon, I was like talking earlier, like I want to bring and mix other cultures together.
Yeah.
I think they would be perfect for this, like healthy, it's relaxing type of drink.
Nice. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so I'm glad that. So we had no alcohol programming at Sanctuary 25 this past year. Breeze was our top line sponsor, and nobody complained. Nobody was like, hey, where's the queue? Where's the open bar? And like typically for South by Southwest events, you need the open bar. Everyone's doing it, but nobody wanted. That also told me something about the community. You don't need it. You don't need it. And that's, well, a lot of people, it's an old way of thinking. I was changing my mind. I was like, shit, we're fucked. We don't have any beverage programming outside of the Breathe. I don't know if people are all going to show up. We still had a lot of people show up. And those are even more of the right people than just the look and sees that want a free beer and run up the tab.
And
So, yeah.
was this community that I think aligns really closely with yours called Sapien Center.
Yeah, I know Sapien folks. Yeah. I know Sapien folks,
I
yeah.
think they do a lot of health and wellness.
Yeah. I've been trying to figure it out. Maybe there's like a sanctuary session thing. My right now, just in terms of vision for some of the big ones, capacity is an issue. Yeah, but like sanctuary sessions could be interesting. Certainly sanctuary sanctioned events for anybody else who wants to do stuff there. Absolutely.
Like I think like those
Yeah.
like smaller events.
Yeah. James.
What have you been using in your hair? Like it looks amazing.
Thank you.
I feel like if we can tap into whatever company you're using for your hair products, I think that could be a huge sponsor.
Well, yeah, I mean, Trovador is. I need to start getting branded. Like I was repping some Edge of Ether wear, hat wear at Bicycle Day. So I'm open to personal spokesmanship, sponsor branding, and I can be on stage, tricked out into like fancy Tacovas. Shout out to Tacovas. More Trovador gear. You see this stuff? There you go, right? And yeah, so I'm open to all that. Right now, it's just love and moisture with the humidity outside.
You know you got your first sponsor.
There you go. Hair's fine. Hair's fine. I get my hair. I'm growing out my hair. I'm growing my hair back out. So.
I'm talking about last month.
What else?
I know you already had your first sponsor.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
You know that. We
Thank
already
you.
talked about that the other day.
Thank you. You might. Well, I mean, if you're comfortable sharing a little bit more about what exactly you're working. James just got a new gig, so I don't know if you're open to like maybe doing like a light pitch on what y'all are doing.
Yeah, you guys are open to that.
Oh yeah, please, James.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, come on. Everybody, welcome, James. Come on, James. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Good to see you. Yeah, so as many of you know, I haven't had a job in over a year and a half, right? So been working on the project to try to get a new social club back online. Something, a new concept. Obviously, highbrow, lowbrow was amazing. It was a moment in time that we'll never be able to have again. It truly was awesome. Unfortunately, the powers that be, it's just not going to be able to happen the way that we all want it to.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right? There's still a massive legal thing that's going on. I got pulled into it, which is why a lot of my communications kind of just went like, right? Because I just knew that I would be put in a very compromised position. And from my own projection, I had to just pull myself away from that, from the name, from the brand, from the communication platforms. However, there's still a goal to do something moving forward in the future. However, with that being said, really cool project came down the pipeline for me, which is called Click Social. Click Social is a community business management system. It's a little bit more than just a platform. We'll be able to provide backline or back-end support for community-driven businesses, peer support, and also brand support as well. Right? So it's a really cool concept. It's the original founding engineer and designer of Bumble and Tinder. So the product, from a product standpoint, it's fucking awesome, right? And it's going to grow, right? It's going to grow. From a financial standpoint, there's some really good people behind this that really want to see this successful. I don't know why the fuck they thought bringing me on was smart, but they did, right? For me, I'll be able to bring in actually communities, but also be able to give them the kind of language that they need. They're tech people, they're designers. They're engineers. They have no idea what it is that we do at this level. And so they're really curious about that. And so Martine was one of the first 10 communities that we identified that someone we want to support. So not only are we being able to give him the app and be able to kind of put him on there. So the app itself is going to be able to take WhatsApp, take a management system, take Posh, take Luma, take Partyful, put it all under one roof. Right? This fraction of technology really is something that just like, it causes a lot more headache. It takes us away from our purpose. It takes us away from what we're really supposed to be focused on, because your eyeballs are all over the place as a community leader and manager. So that's what we're focused on first before the audience, is just getting behind the right communities, the people that we really see that are making an impact in Austin first. Once we kind of see, we get that input, we get that data, then we'll be able to kind of think about where we're going next. But for now, the platform is awesome. It's going to grow. We're excited to kind of support Martine and be able to really just, think about it, highbrow member, you hung out there a lot. A lot of trouble there. Someone, I've gotten this question a lot. They're like, hey, if you go back and do it all over again, what would you do differently? Number one, invest in systems, right? And that's, as any great leader, entrepreneur, business person, you know your systems when things fall apart, the first thing that will save your ass are your systems. And unfortunately, I just wasn't in the right environment that they also were aligned with that vision of investing into systems. So it's one of the first things that I understand when you're really trying to build community. Number one pillar is communication. Right? If you can't communicate with people and it's fractured, everything's going to fall apart. You can't get them to participate. You can't get them to show up to things. You can't get them to communicate with each other. You're not actually going to build community, right? So it's one of the first things that we understand, and that's what the communication platform is really designed to do, is to be able to have not just one space for the community, but think about WhatsApp, how they've been able to kind of break down the micro society, so to speak. Mm-hmm. So we'll be able to have that in different channels, right? Mm-hmm. And so that is something that is highly needed. When you look at Instagram, we know it's a cool place to go because everyone's already there, but it's a predatory app. Right? We know what's happening on the back end. We know what's happening to our data. We know what's happening to our own mental health every time we go on that app. Right? Yeah, I want to go see what's going on in the DGen group, but then I end up doom scrolling.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. But so what we want to be able to do is take everything that helps to run and build and scale a great community and be able to kind of give it in a very simple place for leaders to be able to show up and grow their businesses. So very exciting stuff. You'll be seeing us kind of support a lot of communities that you guys will already know. I am still looking for people, so if you're interested in wanting to build and grow a community, you want some financial support to do that, we're being able to do that as well. So come find me, come talk to me, but we're just really excited to be able to support Martin and his vision, and looking forward to continuing to see it all grow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. There's actually, I just watched this yesterday. I gotta send it to you. It's a South by Talk. Again, part of my dream, and I watch all talks. And you can find them all on YouTube, and nobody watches them. Some incredible content. But there's one I just watched yesterday about the future of social. I'm listening to you. And it has like Ev, one of the Twitter co-founders, Ev Stone, and a new social walled garden community membership-based one. So we're shifting away from freemium, where you're the product. Like Instagram, you're the product, right? They say it. Like if you're not paying for the product, you are the product in social, and that's what we are. We're getting all our data, and probably whatever I talked about, all you're going to get ads about here shortly, because they're listening. They're listening right now. Fuck you, Zuck. Fucking creeper. And I worked for the guy, so I know he's a fucking creep.
May I add one thing?
Yeah, please, yeah.
So one thing that Martin does really, really well is he does it, I think, intentionally, but also indirectly, is he connects people really, really well. But not only people on the human side, but brands, right, and businesses and vendors, and he just has such a great network and such a big heart that he's just right away. You need something, he'll find it for you, right? And so what we all did not realize within Highbrow, there was a marketplace, right? There was so much commerce done within that space, right? There was so much value. I know a good friend of mine sold his business at 4 a.m. on mushrooms to a guy they've been trying to reach each other upstairs in the ketamine guy. So the one thing that is really, really understandable that we have created such social commerce amongst us all, right? And Martin has just been such a leader amongst that as well. And so that's another thing that this platform will be able to do, is be able to understand like the marketplace that we all have, be able to kind of like organize it for us. Right? So it's a really cool concept that's coming out. Again, it's about helping people in real life, but using this tool on that. So I just want to recognize you.
Thank you, buddy. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to having you as our technology partner. There's still the process of getting the market, getting launched. There's a lot of really great features. So in the beginning, we are going to still be a little fragmented in terms of how we promote and how we communicate. But, as we build and we start to get through the summer, and ideally by the time we get to Sunday Sanctuary 5th annual next year, we'll have a full stack of tech that's going to be hosted for you guys at Click. So thank you, Jason. Looking good. I was an actor in another timeline. I was an actor in another. So again, that's it. I don't know if anybody has anything else. Please.
For your summer sanctuary series, what capacity?
We are looking at intimate. Right now, I'm envisioning a 100-person cap. It could go as high as 150, but this is going to be very tightly curated. right? I want to make sure that everybody there is intentional about why they're coming. They're believing in this. It's going to be really the first real event of the series as we build to the 5th annual. But then there will be an investment component from those folks. So when you do a lake house, when you do a private residence, you can deal with a lot less of those permits, right? If we're dealing with public spaces, and I have a lot of experience with permitting, working with the city. If we're doing open spaces and that kind of thing, then yeah, I work with the city. We have contacts there that'll help with achieving, getting those permits in place. But a lot of you got to think about is sound ordinance, right of ways, especially if you're doing like public outdoor venues that need to be gated, security, that kind of thing, food, alcohol. But when you're dealing with like a lake house, it's all in one private space. So there's just like maybe some more of like waivers and liability that you as the attendee will have to consent to upon entering the sanctuary. But as we look, especially as also we look to Hill Country, same thing. Fire marshal ain't going to show up to a Hill Country thing, 40 minutes outside town to do that. Again, and I'm open for all of that. So if you have ideas, please. That's the big thing right now. That's the big ask. Bring. I have friends. I'm sure y'all have even like closer friends with spaces that love to host. So if you come with this dream that I'm sharing to them, and they feel that they align with those values-wise, think about that, right? I'd love to meet them, and hopefully they if they feel that dream aligns with them too, they'd be a great host, and I think they'd have a good time. This would be bigger, so I would anticipate anywhere between 250 to 300 people, right? So again, still not Sunday Sanctuary levels. Those are the tent poles, right? And if we do it right. By Sunday Sanctuary, we'll get back to the 12 to 1,500 attendee level in and out of the course of that day festival. Maybe more. But it will probably have some weird South by tie-in if we work directly with South by. But I'm not thinking about working with South by right now. So this will be standalone, ticketed experience, and yeah, just like you'd go to any other festival, vendor market, you'll probably invest some time in the food and beverage programming if you're not tearing up and getting our VIP homie sanctuary package, whatever that looks like. So we're still working with that. Tim's been gracious, and I'm grateful for that. He's amazing. He's underselling himself. He's a phenomenal event producer in his own work, and he has a lot of experience in that. So I'm looking forward to maybe learning more from you on how we could do this right and incentivizing folks to really invest that time, effort, and money into it. Because up until this point, I've broken my back making sure it's free for all of you. Because I'm a purist for South by Southwest, and the sponsors really come into that. But I can't really always rely on sponsors anymore. The dynamics are changing, and what I've been seeing is, attendees are willing to invest and commit versus just RSVPing to RSVP, getting the selfie. And we don't want those people there. They're not aligned with the values. It's very much what's in it for me, not what can I do to help, right? And that's something that's a core tenet of Founder Institute, my own personal ethos. And for you helping and want to be a part of the community, it's like, yeah, again, like even today, it was just like, hey, $10. That's why I was I'm not going to show up, right? Versus I'm just going to say I'm going to come and I'm going to come, right? Yep.
Yeah, that's a great point. I really want to, for those of you that throw events in here, we have to go away from free. This is the only market that devalues all the things that we do. Because what we have and what we've noticed is we have a lot of, we have an uneducated consumer and inexperienced operators.
Plenty.
Right? And so what tends to happen now, because people have limiting beliefs, they don't really feel confident in what their offer is, so they'll do it for free.
Make myself another beverage.
You go to New York, you go to LA, you go to SF, you go to Miami, you pay, right? So I got to kind of like educational conversations about alcohol. Now they want to do away with alcohol. We can't have that. We can't do that without a long-term conversation. Your favorite bartenders, your favorite servers, your favorite restaurants, your favorite venues, they rely on alcohol. It may not be your favorite thing right now, but until there's something else that could help that out, we got to think about that. So the way we did it in the early 2000s, late 90s, we went to some of these amazing clubs in New York, we go to these amazing clubs in Vegas, you pay your coach.
All right. Yeah.
And we've got to get back to that. They're going out. We should not expect someone else to pay for our coach. Another thing that happened too is you go to a venue, you stay there for 4 months. But
sometimes,
instead of the bouncing around, where I understand sometimes we don't want to spend because we're going 3 other venues, it just helps. It just helps not only the venue, it helps the waitress, the bartender,
No.
the server. Right? Just think about that trickle down.
It provides security.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I know X
Think
amount.
about that
Yeah.
trickle down effect
Yeah.
for the entire
Yeah.
industry. So when
Exactly.
we're doing events, just think about that. And also when we're going to events, it's okay to pay carbon charge too.
Yeah.
Especially for someone that's always giving to you.
Yeah. So yeah, like I've changed my mind on that. Thank you, James. I appreciate you validating that. I've changed my mind on it because I've been very much a purist. I know.
touch it? I didn't even ask. I'm so sorry.
God, consent. Jeez. All right, camera following back. Yeah. So all right, we're getting full cuddle puddle right now. Hold on, I gotta get this camera. Gotta get this camera following back. No, we're good. So anything last? I'm just getting the camera to follow me back again. Again, I used to when I started experimenting with live stream back in 2019, I needed $5,000 worth of gear to do it, staff and all this. Now $100, I got this little $20 thing. It just follows me around. It's fucking crazy. No, it's not live stream. I just have it recorded.
Oh.
But it follows me. It just follows me. It's just cool. So I don't have that. Yeah. And then anything else? Anything else, y'all? Because I'm thankful for y'all spending more time with us tonight and getting to know us and hearing me share my dreams. But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So now, welcome to the bubble. so if y'all already hear the bubble. Y'all already in the bubble. So the bubble is something I've always wanted a theater in my home. Really, since I was a baby, I grew up. My family loves movies. We love movies. We love the cinema. I probably should have been an actor. I might still be a director at some point. Who knows? I have a director's chair. That's what I'm sitting in. But essentially, the bubble is kind of like my own concoction. It's like a poor man's version of the Sphere right now. And I've been doing this. I haven't had a TV in like 10 years, so I've always had a projector screen. I just recently upgraded the projector from what we had the last season. Like Cody was here for that. Yeah, James helped put one together in February where we did a David Bowie immersive experience. But even the sound system was starting to go. It started to crack a lot, so I need to upgrade the sound system. So I just have a new sound system that y'all experience for the first time. It's fully wraparound now. So when you get into the bubble, it fully contains. And I'm also playing with wind and air circulation. So in February, we hosted, James, you were there, I hosted this sound healing experience, like a mini sanctuary session thing, like 2-3 hour experience over at a friend's boutique on 12th and Chacon. And I was sitting up while everyone was doing the sound healing piece, but the air kicked on. It was getting hot in there, and the air just automatically kicked on. And I could feel during Paula's sound healing hitting the bowls, pulses of the wind, of the air hitting me in accordance with the sound out. I was just out in the Mojave for Umbrella Weekend, my friend's festivals out of San Diego, and it went to like the 9th degree. Yes, the medicine was kicking hard on the final night, but their sound stage, the big main stage, was back facing up against this big mountain in the Mojave, and the wind was just constantly going. There was wind gusts the whole time, but it was lined up right with the speakers. And I wish I could illustrate this more, but when you have two pulses of sound on both sides of the stage, you start getting these little resonance. Like, just think these little curves. So you start getting these little, looks like fish scales, basically. I was walking down with my back to the wind, and it was pushing us down, and I was being flipped into each of these little nooks, like flip, 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 through the sound with the wind, and it freaked me out, but it was delightful. So there's an experiment here. I could be absolutely wrong. I am not a physicist. I only can tell you what I've felt and experienced. But I'm going to playing with wind all the time, playing with air circulation while sound is hitting you will increase the intensity of the bubble. And this is what I hear happens at the Sphere too. They play with air. They focus air at you at every seat. You've been in the Sphere? See? Yeah, see? So this is just a hypothesis that I'm testing. So feedback is welcome, but there's been many times where I've been by myself, vibed out, watching like Dune or something crazy, and as the air's circulating and like the Hans Zimmer's peaking, I'm like, what the fuck? We're gonna play with that. So for the bubble, I don't want to make it like a long experience. If y'all ever want to do like a movie night over the summer or anything, let me know. I'm always here. I don't really go out too much. When you see me, I'm very intentional when I go out. If it's something y'all are doing, I want to support you, but I'm not going out all the time. I'm usually here and spending so much time doing it. So I'm grateful that y'all are here with me. So I'm going to do a 1 hour set. It's the Salamander Cave experience by The Blaze. It's a beautiful one. I've played in the background a few times when people have been over, but no one's ever really experienced it. So it is 9:30 right now. We're going to do a 15-minute reset. Please get up, bathroom, everything. I'm not going to rush right into it. Maybe get some medicine if you want. If y'all want to check out and vibe into the shift pod, I will ring the bell again. But take your spots, take your spots, and we'll switch over. Okay, we'll switch over. Thanks, y'all. Okay, bye bye.